The Boston Celtics, the Indiana Pacers. For the Eastern Conference, it all comes down to this. The winner moves on to the finals. Welcome back, or welcome to America's Sports, the channel where we actually talk about the sport at hand rather than silly, made-up drama, bullshit, clickbaity topics. We're here to actually talk the game. If you're here for that other shit, this is probably not going to be for you. So let's get into it. Right now, we are in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs. Boston Celtics in one corner, Indiana Pacers in the other. And for the series, the Celtics are a minus 900 to win it, while the Pacers are a plus 600. That is crazy in favor for Boston, and it has been every single round. And as for game one, the Celtics are favored by 9.5. It has fluctuated up to 10.5 at other places I've seen, with the over-under at 221.5. There are many folks not giving the Pacers a real shot at this, and let me tell you, that is incorrect. The Pacers absolutely have a shot to win this series. The spacing of the Pacers and the awareness of Tyrese Halliburton, who is the modern-day Magic Johnson, makes the game so much easier for the rest of the Indiana roster, particularly Miles Turner. He gets wide open threes. So yeah, when they get rolling, they can beat anyone. They get the best of the shot selection, along with Pascal Siakam flat out hitting tough shots over guys like OG Anunoby. Now, as for Boston, when they have a healthy starting five, there is no better starting five in the NBA, or in the world for that matter, than what they've got. And really, if you have the luxury of having Al Horford coming off your bench, yeah, you got a pretty damn good second team as well. And for the last 5 years, or maybe even longer, the Boston's had really good teams. But there's even less on Jason Tatum's shoulders now as the number one option. He does not have to absolutely go off for Boston to still beat you by 25 points. One of the issues that they are running into, though, is the injury to Kristaps Porzingis. So far, they've been fortunate enough to wrap up each series in 5 games. They also didn't have to deal with Jimmy Butler or scary Terry Rozier in the first round. They didn't have to deal with Jared Allen for Cleveland at all. And then at the end, Donovan Mitchell in the second round. Now, Celtics fans, do not get me wrong here. You would have won in those rounds either way. Indy has played the Knicks and the Bucks, who both weren't completely 100% healthy either. Porzingis is not going to be healthy for the start of this, and he may miss it. Who knows at this point? But we are pretty sure that he's going to miss at least the first 2 to 3 games of this series. And that right there, that's a monumental loss. Horford has been playing great, but with Porzingis, they're just on another level of great as a team. As for the Pacers, other than the Mathurin injury that we knew about 2 months ago, there's nothing over on that side. Everyone should be healthy, and that bodes well for them. Throughout the postseason, Indiana has been the number one scoring team at 114 points per game, while Boston has been the number one defensive team in terms of points allowed per game. Indy also boasts the best field goal percentage throughout the playoffs at just over 50%. That's pretty spectacular, considering they played the Knicks and the Bucks in the playoffs. Boston has the third best field goal percentage with 48%. The role change and emergence of Derek White in these playoffs compared to last year has also been extremely beneficial for this Boston Celtics team. He's had some really great matchups at the same time. Against Cleveland, a lot of his buckets are on Garland. I still can't believe that trade that the Spurs made. They clearly need a point guard. What a great trade for Boston. And as for the Pacers, they traded to get Siakam right before the break and the deadline. Yeah, typically in the playoffs, your top 1 and your top 2 stars are usually, besides maybe 1 or 2 games, are going to show up for you. It's how your other role players and your second team is going to do for you when those stars are out or in foul trouble, or they're just not hitting their shot at the time. If you notice, the top 5 scorers in the playoffs per game are no longer in the playoffs. It's been a very team-oriented and shooting playoffs. The top 5 scorers were Embiid, Brunson, Lillard, SGA and Tyrese Maxey. For the Celtics, we saw Peyton Pritchard, and expectedly Al Horford stepped up in the second round in the absence of Porzingis. So both these teams can go very deep, and the Pacers can get this done in a lot of ways. The Pacers have 7 guys in the postseason that are averaging more than 10 points. TJ McConnell being able to step up and was a huge X factor for the Pacers in the second round. It is definitely true that when the Pacers get hot, they can get hotter than anyone, and they can beat anybody in the league. They made it to the in-season tournament championship game for a reason. That was not a fluke. I said that in the last round, and I'm saying it again, because people are putting these guys as underdogs. Just because they're a 6 seed does not make them the underdogs, guys. Remember, they got Siakam late in the season. That changes the offense, that changes guys getting used to each other. There's a lot that has to change when you add a player of Siakam's caliber to a team. And if TJ McConnell can find a way to slow down Derek White, then you gotta like their chances, I would say. You also have to give the Pacers the advantage here towards rim protection now that Porzingis is out and Turner hasn't missed any games. Turner really brought his blocks per game back up against the Knicks. And he shot an insane percentage from 3 as well. He had wide open looks. However, with all of that said, I think that is the difference, is I think Boston's overall defense, especially at guarding the 3, is just different than anything the Pacers will have seen up to this point. And if you can stop the Pacers from getting wide open 3s all of the time, you're forcing Siakam and you're forcing Tyrese to make incredible plays a lot of the time. Also remember, the Pacers have not shot well from the free throw line at all. And the Celtics, of course, they do. So this will also be a big factor. Speaking of, the Celtics have avoided fouling way more than everyone else, really. But they might foul a little bit more because of the bad free throw percentage of the Pacers. Therefore, I do like the Celtics. I do think they're favored for a reason. They shouldn't be favored by as much as they are favored by, because I think this is going 7. I have the Celtics winning in 7 games. And also, I think that 7th game is going to come down to the wire, too. It's going to be close for a lot of that game. Celtics pull away in the 4th. But I do think you'll need Porzingis back for the finals to beat Minnesota Timberwolves or the Dallas Mavericks. So, yeah, I think if you want to win a championship, you're going to need Porzingis to get back and healthy and play in those finals. If you like the NBA and other sports like the NFL, consider subscribing today. We're locked in for the NBA playoffs, and the NFL is always in season. We're going to break down and preview all of the matchups, so stay tuned for more of America's Sports.